Finally, after how does it work and after why now and what's the risk of doing nothing is what's the next step. And you need to be very clear on the next step. The next step, often called the call to action section, is where you present a choice or an action, an option, something to your audience. Most clients will go in one of two directions. They'll have virtually nothing for their call to action except something so vague that it's essentially useless. Like, so anyway, guys, that's our content. I hope you enjoyed this. If you ever, if you want more information, visit our website. That's it. Visit our website. Useless. The other option is that they put too many things on the screen. So, visit our website. Here's a link to a blog post. Subscribe to our newsletter. You can book a demo here. You can call sales directly right here. And it just goes on. There's too many choices, right? And in my world, in corporate speech writing, in copywriting and advertising, we say the confused buyer does nothing. So you never want to offer more than two choices for a call to action anyway. And one of them should definitely get most of your focus. Now, your call to action will depend a lot on where most of the audience tends to be for your webinars as part of the buying cycle or part of the the customer awareness cycle. If the customer, the first part of the customer awareness cycle is they don't even know they have a problem. You're probably not talking to those people anyway. They don't know they have a problem, so they're unlikely to show up to a webinar talking about the problem. And then it's sort of, they know they have a problem, but they don't know that anyone has a solution. They know that there are people who have a solution. They don't know about your solution, right? They know about your solution exists, but they don't know all about your solution and so on. Right? You're going to get people, in that range. They know that there are companies that offer a solution to the problem. They may or may not know about you. They definitely don't know a lot about you. And that's why, they're in a webinar looking at you and listening to you. So depending on where they are, you're going to want a call to action that's very, very easy for them to do. So you can, of course, if the overall price of what you sell is relatively low, right? If you're in the 4-figure kind of range per sale, then you could try to get them right into a meeting with sales or to a demo or to something more in depth. But most of our clients at Best Damn Webinar, their typical sale runs way bigger, way bigger than 4 figures. And so in that case, B2B selling is a series of, may I move closer? Yes, come closer to me. Can I move closer still? Yes, move even closer to me. So somebody sees a marketing piece, someone goes to the website, someone sees the webinar, someone subscribes or goes to LinkedIn and sees that the webinar exists or gets notified of it or gets an email because they're on your list. And it's a series of steps for how close they are to you. And that will, even the webinar won't, close a sale, because in B2B, no single meeting or event ever closes a sale. So this might be the meeting that gets sales into the door to do an intro meeting. Or depending on how you're structured, this might be where your senior technical people get to go into the deep dive meeting with their senior technical people to sort of flesh out the solution's compatibility with their existing systems and whatever. You're probably somewhere in that range, which means that your call to action should be around putting somebody in touch with somebody else. The baby step version of this is to get them to watch a video. A little further down the road from that is to get them to sign up for a canned demo, like a video demo or a demo that multiple people are in. So it's not like, they don't think they're going to be put in a corner and backed in and you're the only person watching this demo. What are your questions? A lot of people don't like that. But, you just say we run regular demos. You should have regularly scheduled demos, not just per customer. We have regularly scheduled demos, so you can click here and, brings up Calendly or whatever, and they can pick one, the next one, whatever. The stage from that is an introductory or discovery call with sales. And the one after that, depending on where your webinar falls in the cycle, is if you want to talk to our technical team or sales engineering team about this solution and how it will or will not fit with your environment, then do this. Don't do all those, by the way. Just pick one, maybe 2, and let the customer decide which one, but no more than 2 options. Otherwise, it's overwhelming. You're not important enough to them to, like, go down through 7 things and them to carefully consider which one they're going to do. Have 1 or 2, and then you just, like, that's what you stress. That's what you put your emphasis on. You just go. The other option around this section, if you want to get, like, really, really sharp on your content preparation, is that you can allude to, in a way, it's a call forward. You can call forward to the call to action section before you get there. So you might be talking about, like, the how does it work section, and you'll say, now I'm going to talk about this, and then I'm going to talk about the other thing. Now, as I talk about this, there will be something coming up at the end where you can actually book yourself into a regularly scheduled demo and see a much more detailed version of this, if that's where if that's what you want to do next. And then you get there, and then you provide them the link for it. So you call forward. You don't have to call back from a call to action, but you can call forward to a call to action and just say, and I'm going to give you an option later on where you can actually see this, in a regular schedule one, or you can actually talk to someone, one of our solution experts, and they'll actually, like, answer any question you have about it. I'll give you that link later on, and then you just go on with your presentation. That's really sharp if you can do it. It's just the tiniest bit salesy, tiniest bit, like dark side kind of thing. So a lot of subject matter experts don't like doing that particular kind of call forward. But I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. You're just telling people, don't get anxious, don't freak out if you think you're going to miss something here, or you've got specific questions, or they might not get answered in the Q&A section or whatever. I'm going to give you an option to, learn everything you ever wanted about this and ask questions specific to you. I'm going to get through this topic, and then I'll just show you a link for that later. Like, that's all it is. It's not, it's not used car salesman stuff. It's just alleviating some fear that they might have that they're going to miss an option on this. So if you're willing to do that, highly recommended. You can, we've seen uptakes in call to actions between 7 and 13% just by having the call forward. That doesn't sound like a lot, but when the average deal is 6, 7, 8 figures, an uptick of 5% is amazing. Right? That's real money, and basically gravy to your organization. So, by all means, if you're willing to do that as the technical speaker, put in a reminder for a call forward to the call to action while you're still in an earlier section.